Hi, happy Tuesday. So today's going to be a little bit different than the typical Testimony Tuesday because if I'm being completely honest, I'm just really having a hard time in my flesh, feeling like I have much to give today for Testimony Tuesday. I know the Lord's going to equip me. I've asked Him to just illuminate my mind and put into words the message this week. Truth be told, as Christians, a lot of times when we have an incredible spiritual victory, or a high, so to speak, in something that the Lord's doing in our lives, it's very common for the enemy and the forces of evil to attack us. And we had a wedding this last weekend. My daughter got married. It was beautiful day, beautiful everything. So blessed with that, and the Lord was in all the details, and it was just a wonderful time with friends and family celebrating our daughter and new son-in-law's union and just the joining of our families, and it was just everything I think that she had dreamed it would be. So such an incredible event for our family. And in the last 48 hours, it's just been one attack after another from the enemy. And as God's people, we are told and warned about this, and we really shouldn't be surprised by it. So although I'm battling my flesh that just doesn't really feel like I have a lot to share today, I know the Lord is faithful and that He's going to move mightily in what He does bring to my mind to share. The testimony that I had been thinking about sharing today, I'm going to go ahead and go with, and it's kind of funny because it's a lot to do with something I'm dealing with right now. And sometimes the people that we love the most and who love us the most and are supposed to love us the most just can hurt us the most, and that's just a fact of life. And in fact, it's a risk of all relationships, whether it's children, whether it's significant others, whether it's family members, friendships. The risk of love is great pain. And, we're all human. We all none of us are perfect. And we just really have to keep our eyes on the Lord when things happen that don't make a lot of sense. So anyways, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, I had gone to have a service done in preparation for the wedding and had seen a friend that I hadn't seen in a few months, and she's just a wonderful, radiant person that I always enjoy getting to spend even a little bit of time with. And I'd done my service that day with her, and in the next, I say probably 3 or 4 days later, this is what happened. I had been having a hard day, and I was just really dealing with some sadness, dealing with some conflict in my life, and just struggling that day. And I was driving home from an errand, maybe the grocery store or something, I don't remember. But on my drive home back to my house, I said to the Lord, I said, Jesus, I just really need to feel your love today. And it was a simple little statement. It was just the depths of my heart in that moment. And so I drive home, happened to say this on the way. When I get home, I get out of the car, took my stuff in the house, remembered the mail probably came, so I went down to the mailbox and I opened the mail, and there was this beautiful little gift. It was in an envelope, a stuffed envelope, and it had a card. And in that card, it said several things, but the very first sentence says, Azure, just a little something to brighten your day. And then she spoke to this little gift that she sent, and on the very back it said, P.S. Don't ever forget how beautiful and special you are. And it was so beautiful because it was an exactly timed answer to the cry of my heart in prayer to the Lord for what I needed that day, which he already knew, which he already worked through my friend days before that to think to write this card and send me this gift. And in his perfect timing, it would come within minutes of me telling him what I needed, because he already knew I needed it. So sometimes the Lord uses people in ways that they have no idea the impact as they're doing something. So don't forget that about yourself. Nothing is insignificant, and nothing is too small to be used by the Lord to bring about his goodwill and his blessing. So always keep your eyes on that, even in the midst of whatever it is or whatever you think that you're doing that isn't going to matter in someone's life. And you never know when it's everything to that person in the moment that they need it most. You know, I've been I just got done, driving through the country. I deliver medication to some smaller rural nursing homes in the afternoon, and I had a drive today, which was great because I needed it. I needed time, I needed quiet, and my prayer to the Lord was just, Lord, I'm gonna be off my phone. I'm not gonna put the radio on. I just need to hear you. I just need to see and to know and to hear whatever it is that you have for me. And I'm just not gonna speak, and I'm gonna be quiet. And as I was driving, the Lord often speaks to me through nature. He knows the things that I'll notice, and I started noticing mostly the scenery was still pretty green, especially lower on the fields, but of course the trees are starting to turn some a beautiful gold, a beautiful amber, but not a huge varying degree quite yet this fall in those colors. But every once in a while there would be a red maple. I don't know my trees, but there would be a very red tree that was just a single tree that would just pop and stick out against the greens and the yellows. And I noticed, and I know that he was preparing my mind. And as I continued to drive, there was this one part between Garden Plain and Viola where there was just this beautiful, still very green pasture, and there were tree rows off in the distance, and it was just beautiful. And what came to my mind was Psalm 23. This is how he speaks. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. And I know that the Lord started to speak to me through that. And so as I came home a few minutes ago, I pulled out my Bible, preparing for, today's Testimony Tuesday. And when I commit and say I'm going to do something, I don't like to let people down. And so even though I'm battling my flesh today and what I'd really like to do, this is a commitment, and I know that the Lord is going to do something with this. So I'm just going to read and finish today with Psalm 23. Maybe you're having a day like I'm having. Maybe you're not, but remember these promises. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Hold on to those promises today, and remember that there's nothing too small that the Lord can't use in someone's life at the exact moment that they need it. He loves you. He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it until the day of completion in Christ Jesus. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you next week.